You're in big trouble, though, pal. I eat pieces of like you for breakfast.
You eat pieces of for breakfast?
No.
What's up, guys? Boy Benny. Breaking news. Donald Trump is back on the ballot in every state. Total repudiation of the Democrat Party and hysterical leftists who tried to rip Donald Trump off the ballot. This is important news, and as a show, we wish to bring you a live shot of the Democrat National Party headquarters right now as the news breaks. Oh, it's a tough one in the old town tonight. And of course, the typically mentally ill people are on the internet posting about it. Keith Olbermann, the failed ESPN and MSNBC anchor who is now delegated to doing a podcast inside of his closet, I guess, is on with a hell of a take here. The Supreme Court has betrayed democracy. Its members, including Jackson, Kagan, and Sotomayor, all of them, by the way, nominated and confirmed by Barack Obama and Joe Biden. Okay, so these are the Barack Obama and Joe Biden Supreme Court justices. Proved themselves inept at reading comprehension, and collectively the court has shown itself to be corrupt and illegitimate. It must be dissolved. Oh, your delicious tears. That means it's like Hartman. So your tears, the tears of unspeakable sadness. Oh, they taste so delicious, Keith. Now, ladies and gentlemen, what I'm about to show you is a series of Keith Olbermann tweets from today. Each of them more hysterical and hilarious than the next. Every single one of them, in a just world, would wind up landing Keith Olbermann inside of a mental institution where he belongs. The reason why I have to show you them in this screenshotted form is because Keith Olbermann long ago blocked me for trolling him and making memes about him. And so we will have to rely, ladies and gentlemen, on the screenshots because I'm blocked. The Supreme Court betrayed democracy. It must be dissolved. That's Keith Olbermann. So Keith Olbermann obviously seething and crying, searing pain of salty, salty tears rolling down his face. One of my favorite accounts, Gunter Eagleman, this is a fun account. I don't know the guy, just a funny account, says, "Cry more, 9-0," as a response to Olbermann. Olbermann, of course, getting ratioed into the sun here. Ladies and gentlemen, Keith Olbermann then has a very curious response. Some might call this a self-own. Keith Olbermann said, which is, by the way, something that only a very, very sane person would say, that he drinks his own piss. Keith Olbermann's response is, "I drink my own pee." That's the response, ladies and gentlemen. These aren't tears, fascists. They're urine. I'm sure you enjoy being bathed in it. Poor choice of words, the Joker would say. So Keith Olbermann, this is real, by the way. Please feel free to look it up. You're not me, so maybe you are not blocked by Keith Olbermann. I don't know. Hopefully you are blocked by Keith Olbermann. That means you're doing your job. But if you're me, you're gonna have to take the screenshots. But trust me, this is a real tweet. Those aren't tears, they're urine. Let's just take this at face value, right? Considering it's Keith Olbermann's own face that he's talking about here. The guy says you're crying. Keith Olbermann confirms that there is liquid on his face, but that is actually piss. It's not tears, it's pee. And then says he looks forward to peeing on other people. Maybe he could pee on, maybe I could pee on you, says Keith Olbermann. I'm sure you'd enjoy it. Being bathed in it. This is this is a real tweet. This is a tweet that's been seen. It's been seen by nearly 1 million people that Keith Olbermann well, peed on his own face. I'm presuming Keith Olbermann's the one peeing. Maybe it's someone else. I don't know. Maybe it's someone else. He was a Russian collusion hoaxer. Many people call that the PP dossier because there were allegations of Donald Trump. Of course, all of them proven obviously false, untrue. And anybody who knows Donald Trump knows that he's quite fastidious with his health and safety and germs and so on. But Keith Olbermann, I guess, proving that he's not. By the way, fathead, Keith continues in a response to his self-own of the ages. If this court now grants Trump this hallucination of presidential immunity, it applies to Biden too. The justices and cancel the election, and you could do shit about it. Well, you see, while this probably is true that Keith Olbermann likes being peed on, this is not true because there are checks and balances. Of course, the president couldn't do those things. He'd be impeached, right? Like, you'd be impeached. You can't just go arrest another branch of government. The Supreme Court is one of the co-equal 3 branches of government. So Keith Olbermann wiped the piss from his eyes and continued his rantings. This response, where Ed Whelan is saying, why do people lie to their followers, right? Known leftist sociopath Brian Butler saying the Constitution doesn't apply to Donald Trump. That's what the Supreme Court ruled. Yeah. No. The Supreme Court said that Congress is the one who decides and determines who is eligible to stand for office. There are a lot of rules, actually, to stand for office. There's age limits. There's nationality rules. There are quite a number of rules, in fact, that apply that Congress enforces because it's a federal election. And states can't decide who stands for federal office. There has to be some type of governing body that has equal representation to determine these questions. Congress did, in fact, impeach Donald Trump. They held a trial and then found him not guilty, acquitted. So there you go. Anyway, Keith Olbermann saying, mostly because of the influence of the motherfucker Scalia. Why the potty mouth, Keith Olbermann? Oh, because Keith Olbermann has a literal potty mouth, meaning he pees in his mouth, maybe. I don't know. I don't know if that's true. I'm just reading you what Keith Olbermann says. He says that he's not crying, there's urine on his face. So where did that urine come from then becomes the next most important question. Worse yet, this was the pizza delivered to the Supreme Court today. Open box before eating pizza. Got it. Supreme Court owned because they're too dumb to eat pizza. Keith Olbermann, however, says rage tweets Keith Olbermann from his one-room apartment where he does his podcast on the Upper East Side in Manhattan. Great life. Got no kids, got no wife, got a dog. Keith Olbermann tweets from his dog's account when he gets locked out of his Twitter. That's a fact. That's a thing that's happened. Look it up. We've actually done videos on it. Here's a link. This is not 2016, says Patrick Ruffini. Trump as president is not unthinkably horrifying, triggering endless rounds of pearl clutching. He is president for 4 years, and people like the results better than the current guy. This is a totally center of the road, down the middle take from Patrick Ruffini. Yes, everybody loved the coup. Go f*** yourself, idiot, says Keith Olbermann. Through the golden shower, Keith was able to peck that one out. We know this has been an extremely difficult morning for you. And then Keith Olbermann goes after his old network. Keith Olbermann used to work for MSNBC. Oh, man, you should check out his old shows. They're so unhinged. That's so fun. Once again, this shit continues to be peddled by NBC executives because Executive Rebecca Blumenstein, because those at NBC with real power won't risk their money. You're jeopardizing democracy. Say something. It's lashing out his old employer. Now you all get to experience my 2009. Oh, okay. All right. I don't really get what that means. So Keith Olbermann with his rampage of a tweet here. Again, the ratio is into the infinities at this point. To resolve the separation of powers to save democracy. If the political whores on the court are overruling quite explicit language of the Constitution to benefit one politician, your separation of powers died long ago, says Keith Olbermann in a South Park voice. Here's Keith Olbermann getting mainline copium right into the nostrils. Mainline copium. Not 0 and 9. Oh, poor man. It does remind us of our favorite Tucker Carlson segment ever, when Cat Turd triggered Adam Kinzinger with a pee-pee joke of all things. When Adam Kinzinger had to respond to Cat Turd because of a meme of a guy peeing in the shape of a Ukrainian flag. Too much fun on the internet today. Here you go.
Kinzinger made that clear the other day when he responded personally to a Twitter account called Cat Turd. Because when you're one of Washington's leading authorities on foreign policy, you spend a lot of time on Twitter reading accounts with names like Cat Turd. So the other day, Cat Turd made the mistake of posting a meme that seemed to mock the colors of the Ukrainian flag, colors that are sacred to Adam Kinzinger and every other empathetic soccer mom in her mid-40s. You can imagine how offensive that was. It was like telling an off-color joke about Meghan Markle. It could not stand. And so alone and battling debilitating hot flashes in his kitchen, fighting the urge to open yet another bag of Chips Ahoy, Adam Kinzinger fought back. Literal evil, he wrote in a late-night response to Cat Turd. If I met you in person, it would not end well. For you, sicko. Whoa! Hear that, Cat Turd? It will not end well for you. That's not a pillow fight Adam Kinzinger is talking about. That's a full-on slap fight with hair pulling. This is real. You'd better apologize. Our heart goes out to Cat Turd tonight, who's probably cowering in a litter box somewhere, waiting for Adam Kinzinger to show up with sharpened nails. Mock the Ukrainian flag, get scratched. Those are the rules, Cat Turd. It's a tough town. Meow.